you in a second. Okay, woo. All right, so we have Kailiegh Henessey on the call. Kailiegh started coaching on March 10th of 2013, so 2 years now she's been a coach. She was a 2014 Premier Coach. She is a 6-star Diamond Elite Coach this year. She is 1-star in her second business center. She's earned the Financial Fitness Award, which means she's paid off, I think that's all debt except for house. And then she is a Success Club 5 legend. All right, so she's going to talk to us tonight about paralyzing fear and the one fear you should grow. I'm excited to hear this. This is my first time actually meeting you on here. I haven't officially met you yet, but yay. Let me unmute you and let you go. All right, here you go.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Just to clarify, I have not paid off all my debt, although I wish I have. The Financial Fitness Award is paying off all credit card debt through Beachbody income, and we had a lot of it. So that was my first chipping away, and I'm on to now my student loans and my car payment. So those will be gone by the end of the year, hopefully. And then I will all be left with just my mortgage. But a little bit about me, I came into this business for the business. My husband and I were sinking in debt 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago even. And we had been praying for a way out. We had even talked, it was on the table, about filing for bankruptcy because we owed money to the IRS, we owed money to credit cards, student loans, car payments, you name it, we owed it. We have 2 small children. When I started coaching, I had a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and my 1-year-old cried every day since his 2nd day of life. It was rough. And we had medical bills from him because we thought something was wrong with him. And, it just everything piled on at once. So like I said, bankruptcy was on the table for us. And then one day I did a Google search, and I don't remember what I searched for, but my upline's blog came up, and we talked for about a month about health and fitness because I was on my journey trying to lose my weight for my son. And she helped me without me buying a product or a program. For a month, she talked to me about my calories. She talked about, my workouts that I was doing. And then I think, if my memory serves me correctly, she posted something on her blog or through Facebook or something like that, that talked about the Disney trip for a Success Club 2 years ago, that she was taking her family to, her 2 little boys. And I remember thinking like, wow, I know I'm never going to be able to give that to my kids. And I've always grown up driving with my family to go to Florida every year. My grandparents lived there. We drove to Disney every single year. And I'm like, I can't give that to my kids. So she posted, I think there was a call to action at the end of it about coaching. So I started talking to her about it. At this point, I had never been through a challenge group. I've never tried Shakeology. I've never done a Beachbody workout. But I was interested in the business. And, I remember telling her, I don't think I'd ever be to the point where I would get this free trip, to Disney. I signed up. So I started talking to her at the beginning of February. I signed up March 10th. She told me to get on the wait list for the cruise that was last year. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to make that. I'll never get off the wait list. I didn't sign up for the wait list until September, and I got off in October. Like, that's how I moved my business. So at that point, so I signed on, something that I always have to tell people that meet me. Don't disregard the people that can only spend the $40 to sign up. Okay, they have 30 days to buy a challenge pack. So you help them, earn the money in that first 30 days to purchase that first challenge pack. I think that they're far and few between that people actually end up becoming active as a $40 sign-on fee. I was one of those people. I bought Insanity off of Craigslist. I was one of those people. I didn't drink Shakeology for 2 months, but I sold it my first week of business because my family needed it. I couldn't afford it. So 2 months later, I signed up my husband and we got Shakeology. So Don't disregard those people. Work with them, help them. Some of them could be a rock star. You never know. So that's just my little tidbit of information there. But how many of you went to Summit? Did anybody go to Melanie Mitro's training? You did? Okay. So if you were there, this is pretty much my entire speech, because it is something that I am so passionate about your paralyzing fears, and the one fear that you need to grow in your business. And I brought this speech back to my team, and it blew them up. Just because there are so many coaches that come into this business where they have so many fears that just pile on. When you sign up as a new coach, there is so much information out there that not only you as an upline throw to a new coach, but that they can do research on through trainings, so on and so forth, that people get confused, their fears start to take over, and they freeze and they can't do anything. So one of the things that I try to stress with my new coaches and my downline is trying to pinpoint these fears that will paralyze them. And these are fears such as, fear of failing, fear of inviting, fear of, which was one of my fears, is fear of inviting to a challenge group, offending people. Like, those type of fears will stop you dead in your track and won't let you move past to gain where you want to go. So for me, I believe that a fear comes from something in your past. And some of the people that were at this training, if you heard my speech, you know what my one fear example is. It has nothing to do with Beachbody. But it is a fear that to this day is still a fear. And it's silly. And to me, it's not something that I need to work through, because it really has no harm in me. But it comes from a past experience. So if you have a fear of failing, where is that linked to from your past? Where have you failed, or thought that you failed in somebody else's eyes? And where is that fear of inviting coming from? Stepping outside of your comfort zone. Have you ever been able to do that? What did it look like when you did do it? These are all questions that I have my coaches ask themselves, because if we don't pinpoint where it comes from and we attack that source, it's going to remain there. So my little example that I gave at the training was my fear of moths and butterflies. It's silly. I have a deadly fear of moths and butterflies. I will cry. I will run. I will shake and panic. More so moths than I do butterflies. But that came from a fear of a butterfly attached itself to me at one point when I was 5 years old, and it would not get off, and I freaked out. So it just shows that something so small and, not harmful at all to me, a butterfly or a moth, they can't hurt you in any way, can be so paralyzing to me. I will not walk into a kitchen if there's a moth flying around. I will stop eating if that moth is living in my kitchen for 5 days. I won't do it. But just think about something as big as the fear of failing or the fear of inviting, how that can hurt and paralyze your business and not allow you to push past to your goals. It's huge. That's a lot worse than a fear of moths or butterflies. A moth or a butterfly is not going to make or break my business, but you not reaching out to 5 people a day, 3 people a day is going to hurt your business. You having the fear of failing is going to hurt your business, because you will always fail. Everybody fails, no matter what. You can fail walking up the steps. For some reason, I trip going up the steps more than I do going down. That's me failing, but it doesn't stop me from going up to my bed, just like the fear of failing in your business can't allow you to stop. So these are things I had the participants or the viewers in this training write down some of their fears. And these are the big ones that you've noticed stop you from doing something that you know you should be doing in your business, whether it's inviting. I know a lot of people have the fear of inviting to the coaching opportunity. How many of you are scared to invite to the coaching opportunity? How many of you lead with the challenge group opportunity? I normally see more hands with that one. It's the easiest. I don't know why. I personally have a hard time leading with that, because I don't want to offend someone. I don't want to message someone and say, hey, you want to join a challenge group? And they come back, why, you think of that? Like, I couldn't do that. I don't want to offend them. So I've always led with the business opportunity because there's no offending anybody there. Everybody wants to make more money. Everybody wants to be that one person that inspires somebody. We all inspire to inspire people. So for me, I'm always starting at the top, the best thing that Beachbody has to offer people, a life of financial freedom and, physically fit. And from there, if they say no, and we're talking about health and fitness, I'll go into a challenge group. If they say no to that, I will go into a free group. So I'm still constantly connecting with them in some way, shape, or form. Eventually, they'll come back around. They're now friends on Facebook. They're now in my free group where I don't ever talk about Beachbody. I may once or twice a month talk about a new challenge group coming up, and that's where you can get new contacts from and new challengers from, because now they've grown. They know who you are. They know what you're doing. They see other people from my challenge group I only allow people in my challenge group one round. After that one round, they go into my free group. They're still posting daily. They're rating their days 1 through 5 because they've been through a challenge group. They know the rules and the regulations. And they're just so gung-ho because they're seeing the results that they're posting. So every, time, probably about a week before my challenge group, I'll go in and I'll say, hey, I've got a 30-day challenge starting. Anybody would like to join? This is what we're going to be doing. And from there, people who have never purchased before will then become challengers because of A, these people coming into the new group, and B, they now have this trust in me. So that's one way to get rid of the fear of inviting, personal invites. As having everybody in one central location where you're helping them no matter what. It's pretty much the core of our business. You're not helping them just to get paid. You're helping them because you want to help them, whether you're paid or not. Eventually it comes back. I don't know if you know this, but a couple of my friends and I, we actually sat down and looked at what we make per challenger, money-wise. It's less than $1 a day, honestly, from a challenge pack. Less than $1 a day for the amount of work that we put in through challenge groups, helping them with their meal plans. So it's not about the money as far as the challenger aspect of it. It's about helping these people reach their health and fitness goals so that they want to, A, inspire other people and become a coach. That's where your income's going to come from, the amount of people that you can inspire. So all of these paralyzing fears, you've written them down, you know what they are. Now, what do you do about them? I always teach my coaches, pick a fear, find a personal development on how to get over it. I know a lot of people compare themselves to other coaches, so that's a big one, and they care what people think. So I actually just listened to a really good podcast today. Leslie, you might have seen somebody post it in the wall, but it was something about being a kick-ass person and how to get over the fact of caring what people think about you. And it hit every nail on the head. It's I can get the name for you. It's, for me, some of the language in it is a little rough, but if you can get past that, it had really good points. I found myself in the car saying, yeah, not by myself. But so it's called Your Kick-Ass Life Podcast, and it's episode 28, letting go of what other people think. It's huge because if you are free from that, you won't have a fear of posting your transformation picture online, or you won't have a fear of inviting people to the business opportunity or a challenge group because you're not going to care. And one of the things that she touched on, which really spoke to me, was when people have a thought about you, it has nothing to do with you. It's 100% them. If you're in a room full of 10 people, and this is the example that they gave in this podcast, if you're in a room full of 10 people and every person has their different opinion of you, the only thing in that room that's the constant is you. You haven't changed. So these opinions that these people have are coming from their experiences with somebody that may look like you or may have the same name as you. And that doesn't mean that it's you. So you can't take what other people or what you think other people are saying about you or what they think of you and take that to heart and use that, as a paralyzing fear, because it is. It's scary. I think we've all done it. Scared to post something. It's important to be raw and real when you're posting. I was just on the phone with a potential coach and I was telling her, our life as Beachbody coaches on social media is our very own reality show. We need to share not only the good, but the bad, and more so the bad. because when somebody is reading a post, so let's use my bankruptcy as an example. I'm telling my story about how we were getting help from our church, $300 a month to pay for our food, how we were talking about bankruptcy, how we were feeling, how, like you can probably see behind me, like half of my house is not even done. My husband's a contractor. And, talking about all these things that we're going through. These people are not reading about me. What they're reading, they're putting into their own minds, and they're saying, this applies to me, this applies to me. They could care less about me, but I'm giving it to them, and they're taking it into and absorbing it as themselves. At that point, you got to get to the call to action and say, this is where I'm heading, or this is where I've gotten to, because you want somebody to come back and say, I need to get there as well, and have them reach out to you. Super important that you're constantly sharing the good and the bad, not just the good. People are not going to relate to good things. They're going to hate you. They don't want to see that your life is perfect, because it's not. So moving into the one fear that I want you guys to build on, huge. If you were there at Summit, you already know what it is, but it is the fear of quitting. Okay. This is the one and only fear I have my coaches build on. And it stems from my childhood. I was never good at anything. Or I shouldn't say never good at anything, but anything I ever did was not good enough for the people that, and that comes back to caring what other people think. Okay. So for me, I'm always trying to do better. And I have such a big why that, obviously I don't want to be filing for bankruptcy. So I needed to get my family out of debt. I want to build a forever home. I want to open up an organic food pantry. Some of these things that are my why now were not my why in the beginning. I came into this for the business to help my family. That was my why in the beginning. But my fear of quitting overstepped every other fear I had. I hate salespeople. I am an introvert, so even being on this call is hard. I do a lot better through social media, but because you can't really see me unless we're on this. But I had 400 friends on Facebook when I started. I posted maybe once a week, and I had to develop, I had to learn, I had to do all this. But what made me not quit was my fear of quitting. Literally, you can have a fear of quitting. The fear of me, if I quit, I'm never going to be able to get my family out of debt. I can't go back to being a secretary making $14,000 a year. That's not going to work. That's paying for my kids' daycare. My fear of quitting has trumped the, saying, if I quit today, I will never reach the goal of building my forever home. If I quit today, I'm never going to fire my boss. If I quit today, I'm never going to retire my husband. If I quit today, I'm never going to open up the organic food pantry. Whatever it is that's your why, if you quit today, if you quit next month, you're never going to reach it. Beachbody has the tools and the opportunity for you to reach it. You just have to have the fear of quitting. Does that make sense? You have to fear your why. That's pretty much what it is. Because if you quit, if the times get tough, which normally 2 months after Summit, times get tough in the business. I don't know why. Probably because they have Summit and then a Team Cup and then a dull moment in, the second month. But the times that get tough, Christmas time gets tough. Everybody doesn't want to spend money on health and fitness. January, it blows back up. Then we calm down in March and April, and then we come back up, and then we calm down. They move Summit, but normally August or September, we calm back down. And it gets stressful. It's like, oh my gosh, I haven't hit successful 5, and there's a week left in the business. At those times, that's when I've said I wanted to quit. And my upline would be like, well, then quit. And I'm like, I can't quit. I just can't. I may talk a lot of smack that I want to quit, but I literally, she knows I'm not gonna, because she knows that that's my fear, 100%. So I want you guys to think about where your priorities lie as far as your why. And I always tell my coaches, if you come to me and tell me that your why is because you want to help people, I'm going to send you right back to the drawing board, because everybody on this call wants to help people. You would not be in this business. You would not be passionate about this business. You wouldn't be on this call if you didn't want to help people, because this would be a waste of your time, right? So I want to know deep down inside the most selfish reasons as to why you want to be here, why you want this to succeed. For me, it was a selfish reason. I needed to get my family out of debt. I knew it was not the way that God wanted us to be living our lives. My husband was working 7 days a week, 9 hours a day, just to make ends meet, where we weren't even making ends meet. Remember, I had to get $300 a week or a month to pay for groceries. So all of those things were my selfish reason for starting the business. After we started paying off our debt and making more with Beachbody, my focus has changed. Yes, I'm still paying off my debt, but my why has grown even bigger. So it's going to change, and don't feel as if it's, 100%, I can't say this because it's super selfish. I want it to be, because that's what's going to drive you to keep going. It's what's going to drive you through the dry spells. It's what's going to drive you when you want to quit. That undefined selfish why. Okay. I don't know if does that make sense? Sometimes I just ramble, but, so I want you to go back after this call, think about where in your business you're stalling. Are you comparing yourself to others? That's a big one. So-and-so came into this business the same time as me, but they're at such and such a rank. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. They have a completely different story. They have a completely different life at home. Everybody comes into this business at the same spot, and everybody has the same opportunities to grow the business. But not everybody has the same situations at home. So you need to put your blinders on, focus on you, focus on the fears that are holding you back. If you need help reorganizing those fears, I'll be happy to chat with you. And then I want you to focus on that big enough why. And I know a lot of new coaches come into this and they give me really, really small whys compared to the whys that I know that they have. And I've made it my job on the Getting Started Right calls to paint a bigger picture for them. Potential. I give them ludicrous options of what Beachbody can do for them. Okay. Because I want them to be able to see that bigger picture. Most coaches coming into this can't see it. They can only see, I'm helping people and that's why I'm here. And I may make $500 this week. I may make $10 this week, but I want them to think, do you want to be making, $500 a week, or do you want to be making $2,000 a week where you can walk away for a week and make the same amount of money? I want to know, do you want your husband to come home from the military? Do you want to fire your boss? When you have children, do you want to be able to stay home with them? I put all these thoughts in their heads so that it starts turning. And when we get on a weekly phone call, we touch base on it again. I grow it even more. They come back and say, I want to be able to be a stay-at-home mom whenever I get married and have children. Great. So what are we going to do? What does that look like for you? Where are you living? What type of housing situation? Where's your dream home spot going to be? So I'm trying to grow it so that why is so big and so prominent in their mind that they have a fear of quitting. So I want you to go back to the drawing board and think about your why. Is it big enough? Have you come across the thoughts of, this is too hard, this business is too hard, I can't do it, I'm frustrated, I fear this, I fear that, I want to quit? If you do, we need to go back to that drawing board and think of a bigger why, a much bigger why, because that bigger why will create the fear of quitting. Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
You guys wanna, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat. Wow, that was awesome. I loved, just even starting out, I love that you say don't discount the $39.95 people who can't afford to get started, because there's that note of, should they save up and buy the challenge pack, make them save up, or do you sign up? And she, for those of you who missed if you missed the beginning, she had such a need. She didn't want to file bankruptcy, and she knew this business could fix that, solve that problem. And some people out there just need that solution, and that's part of what we can do. And I relate, because I signed up on the business level as well. I signed up, I wanted to help people and pay it forward, because I felt great from, my transformation. And I didn't get a transformation with Beachbody starting out. It was just something I fell into after I'd been in fitness. So I totally connect with you on that, because There are people out there who may not be on the product yet. So when you're saying lead with the business, that's a smart thing. Anyways, that's a huge takeaway for me, is just thinking about, yeah, they may not come on with a challenge pack. They may come on with a $39.95. I know a lot of coaches who are elite coaches who had to do that. I mean, they couldn't do the challenge pack. So that was such a piece that I hope you guys, excite. Everyone wants everyone to be active. And how soon did you sell the first Shakeology? That week, you said?
Yeah. So funny story. I came into this, like I said, for the business. So my upline at the time, my upline is Melanie Mitro, the #1 Beachbody coach. Okay. So that's really hard to, right there. But at the time she was 2-star. Okay. When I signed on, and she had me, before she would work with me, she had me go through the Coach Training Academy, everything in there. And back then, 2.5 years ago, you had to sit in front of the computer. I don't know if you remember this, but you had to sit in front of the computer and answer questions like after every 3 slides. So you had to be paying attention. It wasn't just videos. So I went through, I didn't watch it. I just tried to guess at the questions just so I could get through the training to send her my badge so that she would work with me, because I needed the business to move quickly. After I did that, sheepishly, I went back into the Coach Training Academy and I printed off all of the PDFs. I have a 3-inch 3-ring binder packed to the brim. I then sat in my bed and I went through it and I highlighted the most important things that I knew that I needed to know to grow my business as fast as I could. Then I hit the pavement with the inviting. And the first person I messaged was a girl I went to high school with. She was a grade below me. And I knew that she was into health and fitness. I said, hey, I'm doing this thing with Beachbody. Would you like to join me? Boom. She said yes. She signed up 10 days later. She was my one and only working coach on my road to Diamond. And after that, it was discount coach after discount coach. I signed my husband up as a discount coach. He was my Emerald coach. I went Diamond in 63 days, 2-star premier at the end of the year in 7 months. But I had that goal. I knew what I needed to do. I made $217 my first month. I mean, I started the 10th, so I started almost halfway through the month. That covered my Shakeology that I didn't buy, and or my challenge pack that I didn't buy. But my coach didn't care. She didn't care about that 2 points she wasn't getting. Okay, that's the most important thing. And I think that that's one of the reasons why she's so successful is she only wanted to help one person when she started this. It wasn't about the points, and it wasn't about the income that she has. And she's always made it that way. That I've noticed that it's always been about just simply helping people. And her business has grown in that way. But she came into this after a challenge group. For me, I feel like there's 2 ways that you come about this. You come off of a Beachbody challenge or a Beachbody product or program, and you fall in love with it, what it's done for you, and you want to inspire other people, or you come into it for the business. I have a lot of people on my team that I've recruited that have come into this for the business. I have yet, 2.5 years later, to finish a challenge group. I can't do it. Personally, I run my own challenge groups, but I just can't do a challenge group. And I want to say last year I had a premier coach on my team, and she's never been through a challenge group. The first coach I ever signed, she's never been through a challenge group. So I've attracted a lot of business builders because that's the way that I've led from the start. And one of the retreats that I went on, we had Leanne Ruff there, and love her to death. She talked about something that I've already been doing, but she just put it in perspective a little bit more that I share a lot, and I'm going to share it with you guys. I kind of touched on it, but she said, why not lead with the business opportunity? That is the best thing that Beachbody has to offer anyone. You get your financial aspect taken care of and your health and fitness, rather than just being in a challenge group for your health and fitness. Everybody needs extra money. I mean, times are tough. So you lead with that. Don't lead with a free group. You've got nowhere to go from there. It's free. So you lead with the business opportunity. If they say, no, I'm not ready for that, I'd rather, work on myself first, you go into a challenge group. If they're still not serious about, working on themselves first, I am pretty blunt when I talk. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I would say, that's fine. My challenge groups are for the serious people. I do have a free group that I can add you to. Some of the times they're like, no, I'm serious. And, I can get them back on the wagon. But if they're not, then I add them to my free group. I end with my freeness, because there's, nowhere to go after there. So otherwise you just leave them alone. But you want to offer the business. And I know a lot of people have a, hard time knowing what to say when you lead with the business. So I'll just give you an example. This month, obviously it's the Cup Challenge. Hopefully everybody's on a team. But I have a goal of signing 30 coaches. Doesn't matter if they're working or not. I don't know if I'll hit it, but that's my goal. And I made a list of 100 prospects before August started, 100. And yesterday I have a sitter 3 days a week for my kids now. Yesterday I had my sitter, so I sent out 60 messages. What I do is I sit with my list in front of me right here at the computer, and the first person on the list, I type their name into the chat box, and I write, hey, question mark, or hey, exclamation point, how are you, exclamation point, question mark. Like, I just like enthusiasm. I copy it, I send it, I go to the next person on my list, same thing, I paste the same exact message 60 times over and over and over again. As I'm doing these, hey, how are you? People are writing back to me. Great, thanks. How are you? And I tell myself, if somebody writes me back while I'm in the middle, like I have a little game with myself. I do this with drinking my water. I do it with my messages. If somebody writes me back in the middle of me sending another message, I'm like, okay, I got 5 more out before I answer this person. Because otherwise I'll get caught up in conversation and I won't finish my list. So then I'll get back to that person and I'll say, I'm great, thanks. How are you? So this was yesterday, so I could use the weekend as an excuse. I hope your weekend was good. We start talking about their weekend or whatever, as I'm still sending out my other invites or my other, hey, how are yous? And then, as the conversation kind of dies down, I like the whole script of, hey, I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you're busy. Or, hey, I'm running out the door with my kids. I just wanted to ask you briefly, would you have any interest in coaching? And at that point, I would put a question mark, and I would continue my little post. This is all in one thing, but it's very short because I don't believe in vomit everywhere. I'll say making some extra money at home while you get healthy and fit. Question mark, send, leave it alone. I want to say 90% of the people that wrote me back were interested in knowing more. Not all of them are signing up. Not all of them are doing something. But at that point, I'll send them a 7-minute video I have. And I use the if I would you. I would say, oh, great. That's awesome. Have you ever heard of Beachbody? If they say no, I say, have you ever heard of P90X or Insanity? If they say no, I say, how do you not know that? No, I don't say that. But, I explain to them what it is. And I will say, if I sent you a video, would you watch it? Okay, plain and simple. Normally they say yes. I say, it's only a 7-minute video, very short. I'll check in with you in a couple hours, whatever. And I'll check in with you. If a couple hours is not good for them, they'll let you know. I promise. They'll be like, oh no, check in with me tomorrow. I have such and such going on. And then if they're interested after the video and they're like, yeah, let me know more information. What do I do from here? Whatever. I get them on a phone call. Okay. I was on like 13 phone calls yesterday. I was like, but I get them on a phone call because they can hear my passion. Not everybody types as fast as us Beachbody coaches because we're like, oh my gosh, so many people messaging us, like we type really fast. So for them, it's a longer conversation through message. Okay, so you don't want to, have that go back and forth for so long that they end up going to do laundry or they're going to cook dinner and you miss out on talking to them. So I schedule a phone call right away. Get their name and number. I love this. I just started it, but I love it. If you go to daydesigner.com, they have free downloads. You don't have to buy the $59 planner, but they have this one. I don't know if you can see it, but it has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a whole list with the times on it. And so on the side, it says this week's top 3. So I put my top 3 goals. So, sign 5 coaches this week, Success Club 10, whatever my 3 goals are. And then it says must do's. And then don't forget this, victories. So I have victories of how many coaches I've signed. So I have that goal. Gratitudes, and then things that you want to do for next week. So I've put in my schedule in here where all my calls are. So here, I have them all color coordinated too. So, before this call, I had a coach prospect call. So there she is with her phone number. So I know, and this always sits right here in front of my computer. So I'm always like looking at it. I'm talking to somebody and they say, hey, let's do a getting started right call because I signed a coach. I'm right here. I can just write it in. So I know that's where it is. Perfect. You can take it with you. You can then hole punch it and put it in a binder because it's weekly. But I find that this is really working for me. So that's pretty cool. Somebody asked a question. The video that I send, okay, what videos do you send? I only send one video. It's a short 7-minute video. I can send it to Lindsay and she can post it in the group. It's from Beachbody. And that's what I send, and then I let them get back to me or I get back to them, and then I schedule a phone call.
Can I ask you something?
Uh-huh.
Go over this. So my question to you, and I'm sure everyone probably is curious, getting them on the phone, once you've got them interested, you send them the video, I'm guessing you ask them what they liked about the video, or do you just go straight to getting them on the phone? Because I can tell you're following the GoPro.
Somewhat, yeah.
GoPro, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and I know he tells you to get him on the phone after you've watched the video. Because you want to know when can you watch it, and you set an appointment, you get them on the phone, right? So
I have them watch the video, and then I get back in contact with them a couple hours or a day so later to find out how they liked it.
Yep.
I don't do a lot of back and forth. If they come back and say, yes, I would like to know more information, what can you tell me? Or what do I do next or whatever? I say, okay, well, I normally schedule phone calls. Okay. When is a good time that works for you? And I try to schedule it best around their time. Most of the time they tell me after 8:00, which is perfect for me because my kids go to bed at 7:30. If it's during the day, I will tell them I have Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays available between this time because that's when I have my sitter. I try to get them on the phone within a day of them watching the video or them saying that they want more information, because I don't want them, it sounds so, I don't know, but I don't want them to start thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. I want to be able to talk to them before they make that choice without even talking to me, because they don't know what I have to offer.
Right.
And at that point, I go over, what we do as coaches. It's twofold. I talk about how I help challengers, but I help coaches reach financial, freedom as well on that call.
That's awesome. Good stuff. Thanks. I figured some people are afraid of the phone, and
yeah.
I know even in my experience, like they've run and I'm like, awesome, that was a waste of my time. So I just wanted to clarify that, because some of you guys may be struggling with that as well. Like I would like to get them on the phone, but they ignore me or whatever. And so I was curious what you did with that.
Yeah. I mean, I have people ignore me, or I have people say, yeah, let's schedule a phone call. I had somebody reach out to me last week. They reached out to me and said, I want to know more about this coaching. So I said, that's fantastic. Let's schedule a phone call. She picks the date and time, and she didn't answer. I have yet to hear from her.
Oh.
She'll be there. She reached out to me. I don't really care. Then I had somebody that I talked to this morning who was one of those people that you really had to ask questions. Like they just didn't talk. I was like, well, this is not going to work well, I just don't feel it. You just know. But the more you get on the phone with people, the more it builds your confidence in what you're talking about. And the more that confidence is going to sell it for you. Just to put it in perspective, I think let me look. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 phone calls yesterday with potential coaches. 2 of them signed up. Okay. Awesome. I had 2 phone calls with potential coaches today. 1 of those signed up. So I also schedule phone calls with potential challengers. I'll throw that in the mix. Yeah, because they can hear my passion and I can actually have time to connect with them. The last potential challenger that I talked to, she pleaded with me how she wants to get off of her 10 medications she's on. She's on medications for symptoms from other medications. She doesn't want to do that anymore. But I would never have been able to get down to that root level just by messaging on Facebook.
Right.
Okay, so for me, I can share my experience and she can hear my passion in what I've been going through and what I can help her go through. And I can, sit there and listen to her for 20 minutes talk about all of these issues that she wants to see gone. So I think on both levels, you should be getting on the phone. It's a lot of phone work, it's a lot of talking, but it's good.
And you connect. So where do you meet people? I know that too.
Where do I meet people? Well, my like page, I'd have to say, is my number one source. And that's only because my like page when I first started my business was horrible. I didn't know anything about it. My premier coach I got from being in Facebook jail. Hope everybody knows about that. If not, we'll let you guys figure that one out. I friended 100 people in one day, and I got put in Facebook jail. But my premier coach, who is my top coach on my team, came from that 100 people invite.
That's awesome. So
I've never done that again. But I have tried the search bar in Facebook, trying to find people who like the same things that I like. They never friended me back. So just in talking and reaching out, stepping outside of my comfort zone to talk to coaches that are ranked higher than me, or, I've messaged coaches that are ranked higher than me that don't message me back. I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to move on to the next person that would give me some tips, but just talking to people, figuring out how they gain new contacts. Cause that was one of my poor areas, is gaining new contacts. I can develop diamonds. I can assign working coaches. They're far and few between because of my contact list. Well, now since December 28th, I have revamped my like page, and I've gone from 400 likes to 5,500 likes. And I add 5 people a day from my like page of who has liked my page. And out of those 5, 90% of the time, 4 of them friend me back. And as soon as they do, I start a conversation. I say, hey, thanks so much. How are you? Some of them don't write me back. Some of them have seen it. I don't care, because now that they've seen it, they're now seeing my stuff in their newsfeed. So I don't care. Some of them write me back, and we start amazing friendships. We start bonding. Those are people that go on my coach prospect list or my challenger prospect list. I have twofold like page. It's Christian based, so it's biblical, and it's fitness related. So I have a question that I get to ask them right off the bat that says, hey, thanks so much. I'd just like to personally thank everybody that likes my page. Do you follow it for the fitness or the biblical aspect? If they say fitness, I start talking to them about their fitness goals. Right then and there, I can talk to them about challenge groups or what I do for a living, so on and so forth. If they talk about it for the biblical standpoint, I tell them, I hope you find it motivational and inspirational. Please let me know if there's anything you would like to see or hear on my page. So that's kind of...
Are you running ads?
Am I what?
Running ads?
The only ad right now that I have running is for my likes, which I started December 28th. I run it. It runs every day. Yep. And in this business, you have to make sacrifices. And that's one of the things I learned very early on. I did not have money, but I made the sacrifices. I signed discount coaches instead of that $30 a month that could have helped my family, because I knew that that was going to get me to my $14,000, a month rather than a year salary. So for me, that was in my head something that I could live a little bit longer the way that we were living to be better off in the long run. And it's the same thing with my ads that I do on Facebook, or anything that I invest money into my business, it comes back. As long as you're investing it smart, it's going to come back and help you. So since December 28th, I've been paying $2 a day for likes on my like page. And this is a whole nother call for like page ads, because it's taken me a long time to figure this out, but there's a whole thing that you could do as far as how to scrutinize the crap out of your people that you want to follow you, right down to how many credit cards they have, if they're frequent online shoppers. So it's scary that Facebook knows this about us, but they have all that. So I have 2 ads running. I think only one of them actually gets all of my likes. So that's the one I go with. That's the one that's been running since December 28th, and it's gone from 400 likes to 5,500. And those people slowly I'm adding to my Facebook page. Awesome. If something comes back that says this is done, performed 75% or 95% better, I will run it for a day for $5 just to gain more traction to my page. Sometimes I will run a coach ad if I feel like it's good enough or will attract people. that doesn't seem to be what attracts people to my page though. So I don't tend to run those. But running things like a video that doesn't have anything to do with coaching or challenge group, but that's just informational, is going to bring more people to your page and asking you questions.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, that's what I work for my like page too. I was just curious what you do and how you did it when you were no money, because that's the thing is that transition. Eventually you'll be able to invest greatly into your page, but not necessarily right out the beginning. Okay, so
I did Facebook Joe. Running friends of friends.
Okay, so it's daydesigner.com. Do you only do calls for coaching, or do you do it for the challenge pack? She said yes, she does. What if you ask their preference in how they want to continue the conversation if the client won't get on the phone? What do you do when they won't get on the phone with you, but they still want to talk to you?
I don't think they're that serious. I don't think anybody not want to get on the phone with me or give me a phone number, at least. They might not answer when I call, but at least I've gotten them to give me a phone number. And at that point, I wait for them to reach out to me. But if somebody's like, I don't know, I feel like if they don't want to get on the phone, it's an excuse, right? They don't have time to get on the phone or whatever. If they don't have time to get on the phone, they don't have time to type to you, this whole thing. But I will just give a small little blurb about what we do as coaches. And if I have like an opportunity, a weight event coming up, I will add them to it. I'll say, hey, come check out this webinar if you get a chance. If not, I'll send you the recording. I just try to give them as much information as I can. Most of the time, they don't get back to me until the next day because they're gone off of Facebook. It's more of a cop-out, I feel like. If, it's just them saying, giving an excuse so they can step away from the computer so they don't have to see your next message. That sounds horrible, but people are like that. Yeah.
Do you have a training for your like page that you do for your coaches?
I did a team call on it, but I haven't. So I just did a diamond call that Mel runs every Wednesday, and I just talked a little bit about my onboarding process, and people were asking me about my like page and where I found my coaches from. And so I said I would do a training as far as that. I just have to do it.
Cool. It's probably very similar with the targeting and everything that we have
a editor.
Yes. Yeah. My excuse is phone and my triplets don't mix. They would have to wait for when it's convenient for me. So yeah, that would be like that idea of going to the YMCA and using that 2 hours of help around the house. I heard this somewhere and I shared it with them today, and I said, Anita Myron, she did a call today for the Western region, and she said when she was building her business, she got a YMCA membership, and she would do YMCA, and she would, for 2 hours, they would be in a play thing, and she would just do a lot of work, bring the computer with her, and just sit somewhere in the area and just work. So that might help. I understand I have twins, so it's hard. And I'm sure you only do your phone calls when it's quiet. You probably don't do it when the little guys are.
Yeah, I try. This morning I had one and they were horrible. But see, the thing is, you also are going to attract people who are like you. So you're going to attract people who have kids who are going to understand. Yeah. And if you're building a business from home, get used to it. This is a business from home. But something that you could do is swap days with a friend that has kids, or for me in the beginning of my business, I couldn't afford to go to the YMCA. Like I literally could not afford to go to the gym. So I worked every single day from my phone. Like I did all my typing from my phone. My 1-year-old would not be put down. Horrible. I don't ever want to go back there. But I've now been blessed to be able to have a sitter 3 days a week. So, but I still schedule most of my stuff after 8 o'clock when they're in bed. But that's the thing. Like the kids have to have a schedule. I don't know how old the triplets are, but when they're old enough to have a schedule in your business, they have to keep it. My kids are in bed every night at 7:30 unless it's a weekend and I'm not working and we're out with friends or whatever. But it's 7 o'clock, they are going up to bed, 7:30, they're in bed, and I'm walking back downstairs so I can tidy up the kitchen, feed the dog, and do what I have to do before my 8 o'clock show starts, whatever that is. So having a structure everywhere in your life as an entrepreneur is something that is huge.
Yeah. Okay, I found people tend to understand when on the phone. It helps them relate. I do know that one of the coaches that is like a cross line to our team, she said she was like, I swear people sign up just because they hear my kids in the background and they just want to get off the phone with me. And they're like, okay, whatever you need. But I mean, that was like a joke. But yeah, she did calls with the kids screaming in the background, and she, I mean, you gotta just find your groove, I think, and just keep going with it and what really works for you. Because phone does move faster. Obviously, Kailiegh signed up 2 people yesterday, just get on the phone with 4 of them. So, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
I literally this morning during my call, my 9 o'clock call, I was walking from my front porch to my back porch, walking away from my children who were following me, whining and complaining. And I'm like, go away now. Like my 5-year-old knows better. My 3-year-old not so much. And we're potty training my 3-year-old, so he's walking around here naked. I gotta go pee. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like really? I'm on the phone. Go outside and go pee. But these people all have kids that I'm talking to, so they understand. I'm just saying, be apologetic. It's one of the things that you can do as a coach is apologize for everything. And I'm sorry, I've got my kids, my sitter's not here today, whatever. My husband didn't show up. I don't know. But you just apologize to them. They're going to be like, oh, I completely understand. I've got a 5-year-old, They're going to understand.
Well, thank you. I don't know if anybody has any other questions. Oh, yeah, there we go. When you do the call, do you push the coach fee or the challenge pack when you're pitching the business?
That's a good question. I push the challenge pack. Why? Because yes, I've signed coaches with the coach fee. I think 1 out of maybe 8 that I've signed that way have gone active themselves. I find that unless you have somebody like myself or Lindsay, that you are gung-ho about this business, you're not going to see the value in it unless you invest your own hard-earned money in the products and programs. Like I said in the beginning of this call, the coaches that come on with the $40 fee and actually do something with their business are far and few between. You got to sign a lot of them to get 1, okay? But you also don't want to discount any of them because any of them could be that 1. So I always talk to them about I don't give them the option of the $40. I tell them Beachbody has a very low startup because they just want you to focus on your own health and not breaking the bank. I always say that, breaking the bank, because it's huge. Nobody wants to break the bank to start their business. So I say it starts with you. It starts with your investment in your own health and fitness, and that's it. Your $40 fee is waived. And they're like, oh, wow, really? What's the cheapest one? And I'm like, well, right now our top seller is on sale for $140, the cheapest one. And I talk about everything that they're going to get in it. And because I'm on the phone with them, I can talk about, oh my gosh, you get the 30-minute workouts for 3 weeks. You get the easy-to-follow meal guide, the portion control containers, a shaker cup, 3-day quick fix, and a full 30-day supply of Shakeology. I'll even break it down and say the kit alone is $89. Shakeology alone is $130, but you're getting it for $140. How awesome is that? And they're like, oh, that sounds awesome. You're getting a lot of stuff for $140. There you go.
Oh, yeah. That's what I do too. We're very much alike.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you do this? If you're talking to somebody about a challenge group and they say, I can't afford the challenge pack, do you offer them the business opportunity at that point?
I actually, I start by saying you can't, or I'll say, I don't ever get I can't afford anymore because of the way I position it. I'm like, this is worth over $2,000. You're getting Beachbody on demand to try out. And I go through everything. And I'm like, and right now, $140 is the cost. And they're like, they can't fight with, they just can't even go there. They're just like, and they usually is, I need to wait to payday, or I'm going to save up, or it's stuff like that. I really don't ever deal with the I can't afford thing, or if I do get into some of those positions, I will go into that. If I ever hear every once in a while I'll hear something about that's too much for me, and I'll be like, really? I find I save money on it, and then I go into the business opportunity. So yeah, I do. I just kind of spin it with my words, and it's very scripted. Like it's me, but it's just I just repeat the same thing with the same person every single time, to the point of it's almost like a robot talking. It's the same, like, really, you can't. And I paid $400 when I signed up. I paid, or 300, or I paid $40, and then to buy Shakeology it was 100 and whatever, 30. And then I bought Insanity, and that was 130, and we didn't have this pack option. We didn't have Beachbody On Demand, and it all added up to like 350, something like that, plus all the shipping. And like, people are just like, wow, we're getting such an awesome deal. And it works really well to be able to I just spin it a little bit. So, but yeah, I'm all about like the business side of it. If
you gotta ask. So one of the reasons why I asked that was because for some reason, I don't know what it is that I say, but somebody comes to me and they're interested in a challenge group or whatever, and we get down to them purchasing a challenge pack, and I get, I can't afford that right now. I'll have to wait until next month or whatever. I will literally say to them, hey, would you ever consider making money while you got fit? And somehow, some way, they will find that $140 at that point to join as a coach. I don't know how, but that's just, you always have to ask, because if you don't ask, somebody else will, and that could be your rock star.
Yes.
Remember that.
So true. That's happened to me. I was trying to work on, somebody. I was in a follow-up situation, and next thing I knew, she was a coach and Diamond, and I was like, well, what did I just miss here? Like, what just happened? And you're right. Like, there are other people that they will go and connect with. So make sure that you're involved, take care of that.
Oh, it's early.
Kids are coming in. Good night. Good night. Anyone else have any questions? Good kiss. Tell Mom good night. Good night. Okay. Sorry. See? They come right in.
Okay. I know, tomorrow.
Anyways, okay, so this was awesome. We're right about at 8 o'clock. Thank you guys, or thank you so much.
No
Kailiegh.
problem.
This was so awesome. You guys, it's Kailiegh Henessey. If you want to go post on her wall and blow it up and tell her thank you, it's spelled differently. So you look at it, it's Kaileigh Henessey. And this was great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm glad I got to know you a little bit. Sure, I'll get to know you at leadership. You're going to leadership, right, San Diego?
Yes. I'm going. Yep, I'll be there.
She goes from almost filing bankruptcy to getting on a plane to San Diego, hanging out by the water.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? You can make a total post about that.
No, I've been posting about that. Well, not about that, but all the trips that I get to do now.
Crazy. It's crazy how much we get to do, and you probably one day you're going to do your own diamond retreat, right, or something like that, and you'll be able to
September 18th to the 20th, we are doing a diamond retreat.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Well, thank you so much. I know it's late over there. You got kids and everyone's got to get on with their day. I really appreciate it. This is awesome. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. And I hope you all have a great night.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.